How can you tell when a piece is beyond practicing, at least ready for performance? I hope you don't mind the question. Of course not, guys. When we're live, fire away the questions. I love it. You know, um, uh, if a piece is beyond practicing, so it's like you mean when you're finished with practicing it and it's ready to be performed? It's a kind of funny question because you're obviously never really done practicing it. In a way, performing it is just like the next step in learning the piece, you know? And then after you perform it 3, 4, 5 times, especially if you record it and listen to your performance, you get even more ideas. But how do you know when it's like, okay, I can perform it for someone? It's up to you. You know, obviously you need to be able to get through it from beginning to end. It has to hold together. You know, you have to be able to play it without stopping. If it's not perfect, then it's up to you. Is that going to be a reason to not play the piece because you have a couple of mistakes? I wouldn't make a big deal of it, you know. Depends on what you're playing and what level and you know and where you're playing it. So yeah, the best thing to do is to record yourself because often when you're by yourself, you can play through the piece no problem, and then you play it for someone and you realize you're not quite there yet. So that's what I like to do. I like to play it for someone. I play it for my wife, play it for a friend, you know, or another pianist, or you know, I'll play it for someone who could actually teach me a few things, who's played it before. And that's the best because then you're a little more on nerves, you know. If you play it for someone who really knows the piece and plays it better than you, that'll make you a little nervous. And then you know if you're really ready to, you know, deal with the stress of playing it in public or in front of people or whatever. So basically, you have to find that threshold. Where is it like acceptable? I could play it at this level. You know, I can get through it without any blanking out with memory problems or jumping around, and it holds together from beginning to end. Okay, some passages are really tough and I haven't mastered them. That's fine. You know, you don't have to master everything before performing it. I don't think so. I think that when you perform it, or perform is a funny word as well, or just like share it or play it for people, or you know, that's part of learning it. So I hope that answers the question. If you want to perform good, you have to play perfect. If you want to perform perfect, you have to get better than perfect, in my opinion. If you want to perform good, you have to play perfect. I I guess it depends what you mean by perfect, and it's not a very ideal word for an artist because you're always refining things. Then what is perfect? Perfect to me means that there's nothing left to improve, and there's always something left to improve in a piece. There's no end to it. As you get older, you get more mature. You become a better performer, a better mediator between the music, the composer, and the audience. There's no end to how you refine the music. And when it comes to even just something as technically difficult, complicated passages, you might be refining that on different levels as well over years. So, and what makes a good performance? I think a good performance is a performance where you reach people, you know, and you touch them in some way. Probably the most significant way of touching someone is when you play something that, you know, gives them the space to feel things that they need to feel that they wouldn't otherwise happen. And maybe in the most superficial way, it's when you play really difficult things and that are impressive to people, but that's more like going to the circus. So people are moved in a way to see someone do something very difficult. You know, I find that that's can be fun as well, you know. Even someone like Liszt, who wrote these most beautiful things, seems to be someone who really appreciated the, you know, circus side of the music, which is not a very nice way of putting it, but it's maybe the one of the best words you can use to describe these pieces that were just flashy and kind of show off and that was also original at the time. So so there was something to it. I will go. So yeah, I have a, I think that kind of addresses that, performing good. What's a good performance? Oh yeah, okay. So a good performance is one where you reach people and touch them and hopefully do, justice to the music as well, because you don't want to play something that you really don't know and don't understand, and then people are usually don't know any better and they'll hear that music and just say, well, that doesn't sound very interesting. I think I don't like J.S. Bach, you know? So so if you have a moderately decent understanding of the music and you can convey something, I think that's a good performance. And you don't have to play perfectly to do that. So